What up, Kings? This your host, Bed. Welcome to today's episode of King's Table. That's Kings with a Y. Today, I want to talk to you about two questions that I asked. One, is chivalry dead? And two, is chivalry abused in society? Now, the responses I got, they were quite favorable of the idea that I already had in my mind. But before I get into it, if you haven't followed me on my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, kings.table.official, please do so. Now, back to the answer, to the response. Look, the question I asked was, is chivalry dead? The response I got, 100% of the people that responded said no. Chivalry is not dead. Men are still chivalrous and they're still showing love. And then the second question I asked was, is chivalry abused in society? 71% of the people that responded said yes. 29 said no. And I think that kind of shows like two things, right? The first thing is that it shows that men are still very chivalrous. And the second, it shows that chivalry's been abused. And so, I feel like we as men, as kings, we kind of we're a little bit more skeptical of, I don't want to say skeptical, we're more picky with who we choose to show our chivalry to. And I think that's a good thing. For me, the definition of chivalry is earned privileges that only a certain, someone, your partner, gets if they earn it, right? Because the thing is like, if a guy's chivalrous to all women, every woman, then the woman that he actually cares about is not going to know the difference, right? And I think that's like the turning point of chivalry, right? Is because now we live in a world where we actually do show chivalry, but now it's like, is the person receiving it, the chivalry, is that connection genuine? And I think when it comes to that, I will always hold men accountable, only because, at the end of the day, we're only responsible for our position in life, how much money we have in the bank, who we're with, who we're around. That's our responsibility. I would never put that on the world for whatever position we're in, however much debt we have, however much money we make. That's up to us, right? And that also goes with the women we have in our life, right? It's definitely a little bit tougher to differentiate between, a high quality woman and a low quality woman if you're a low quality man, which is why I urge everyone that's listening, everyone that's following, all the kings, better yourself, heal from your wounds, because, and I always go back to this because I 100% always believe in it, is real will always recognize real. If you're 100% with yourself, you'll see 100% in someone else. And that takes away, any second guessing, any insecurities that you have, in someone else. Because if you're 100% real with yourself, if you can have an honest and open relationship with yourself, then you can have an honest and open relationship with a woman or a partner, right? Now, I do want to, touch on that chivalry bit a little bit more. I mentioned earlier that chivalry is not dead. Kings, we provide protection, love, resources, amongst a plethora of other things, right? We provide that, and that's powerful, And we'll jump into the second question, which was, is chivalry abused? In society, and it's like, that response was 71% of the people said yes, and it kind of brings to light, like, as half the species, you know, we've been walked on, we've been walked over. And I like to think of it like this, right? Like feminism's been around for like 50, 60, almost 70 years, right? And I hate to use that F word. Um, but men have not been progressing like that for the past 50 to 70 years, you know, which means we're 50 to 70 years behind, right? But the pendulum's swinging in the opposite direction now. And we can't behave the same way that these F words behaved. Because it's just going to create the same animosity in women. I don't want to say animosity, but the same pain in women that we have right now. And we don't want to carry that. So, kings, you know, continue being chivalrous, continue raising your standards for yourself, continue, you know, making more money, continue getting in better shape, you know, continue being the best version of you that you can be. Now, with that being said, I always say this: fix your crown, king. The world needs you.